Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Second City. And jumping in, I've just kind of been running around a little bit, and I was putting some trees kind of along the sides of our train lines, just kind of protecting those a little bit. And I realized I just kind of want to redo a few little sections here. So you notice this is no longer SBO Meadow. It's now called Cedar Flats. The road network is completely different. So now we've got a bit more of a grid kind of forming to the highway line as well as the train. Again, here, road network completely different. I did do a little bit of off-camera detailing here where Cedar Street ended up getting parking along both ends, and I gave it a little bit of a main street, which I thought looked really nice. I also, if you can't tell, completely deleted everything over here in Palmer Springs. It's just not working. It was not kind of giving what I was hoping it would. So we're going to come back to Palmer Springs later. But I think for now, let's go ahead and try to finish out generally this area today. I think that's going to help us get to a better spot and just see how this is all going to work together. Now, a few of you did comment some suggestions I'm going to throw up on screen right now, and I think we're going to start with making some of those changes. So the first suggestion was we should consider turning this 6-lane road, Briarfield Street, into a road that has parking on both sides, which I actually think would look really nice and would just fill in this space nicely. So let's do a 4-lane with angled parking. I think the angle just looks better all around. We'll have parking on both ends here. And I do want to limit how much of this is taken up by the bus. So let's do this. Let's just grab a little straight piece here. We're going to click once there. How do I add a node? That worked well enough. Okay, so now I've got more parking available back here. Then over here, we come over here. This section here, I think, could also be transformed to have some grass and trees along both sides. Doesn't really need the grass per se. It actually might look better without the grass. What are you doing? What's your route look like? You're looking a little sus with whatever it is you're doing there. You're supposed to go forward, come over here, you come over here, you go back around. Yeah, I don't know what you're up to. But we added trees here. I'm actually going to change these up. Let's turn these into oaks. Let's let them be those guys. Yeah, Forest Street. Then you come over here, you've got more parking available here along Forest Street, which then leads over to kind of Doors Park, Ortega area. All right, we have seemingly rectified the death wave we had. I built a few other, what are these called? Crematoriums, just kind of about. So we'll see if I need to keep adding more. I snuck a few into the heart of the city. Someone did recommend that I need to add or can maybe change this subway station so that this subway is actually closer to the university. And I partially agree. I think what we do with the subway is instead of having the subway line, did I hide a bunch of stuff? No, okay, it came back up. Instead of having the subway line go underground over this direction and connecting back into the Doors Park area, I think we take this subway line, which is here. You can barely see it. Man, my eyesight. Which goes around this way. I think we actually sever that. And instead, this subway comes over here, and there's one additional stop. And either that stop is here, like right along the main road, or it's on the other side. I could see there being value to having a subway stop right here, kind of tucked into the university. So maybe we place it there. It doesn't look like anything's going to get ruined. I am going to place it, but then also zoom in here and just scoot it over so it's right on the corner. Let's go ahead and get rid of these trees creeping through. We don't need any of those. Do you have any upgrades? You do have shops, so we can put some shops in there. And then let's go ahead and figure this out. Let's get rid of... Here we go. Let's get rid of this view here as well as this. This is just going to end right here at Doors Park for the moment. And then we're going to bring this subway from here. Let me get underground here. We're going to connect these two up. Let's turn this off. Let's stick to the angles. Go like this. And connect yourself up and into this point here. Now the subway line comes in and through and actually is back up at surface level, which is much more useful. Okay, back to this line. Let's take this connection. Let's move it over here. Bring it to here. And then we're going to add in 2 stops right here in this area because this is about to get a little bit denser. I am going to also go ahead and change a few things. Let's turn this just into MTU subway station. MTU is actually a university. I found this out from one of the people who commented, but there is a real university with the title MTU, and it begins with the word Munster. So we're going to rename Cooper Bluff to Munster. But now this actually kind of ties in to the university. I also renamed this area Daisy Field, so that's great. We've got a new subway line connecting up through here. Looks like we are starting to maybe enter spring, which is going to be great. But let's go ahead and do a bit more zoning throughout and just start getting this place to look a little bit nicer. All right, future Wheaty here. I'm making the edits to this video and I'm realizing that I totally forgot to place one specific building. The son of the talented things, 4990, has asked for weeks now if I will place an apartment complex and name it the Greer. So I'm thinking right here on the corner of Briarfield Street and Cedar Street would be a perfect place to have a little apartment building. Now, I will say I'm placing this building in the future. I completely forgot about it. I'm editing the video and I'm like, oh wow, I totally forgot to place this apartment building. So what I want to do is I want to look through. Let's see what kind of spacing we have here. We've got, oh wow, we got a lot of space. Let's do as big as we can. I want to place a nice, beautiful building here. I'm thinking let's go for like a level 4. Nothing crazy, but I do want to see a nice building here on the corner that we can then call the Greer. I'd like it to be like mid in terms of height. Like some of these are way too tall. Residential low rent. If the problem is the low rent buildings all have a lot of parking lots and I don't necessarily want a ton of parking lots. I could get into something like this. This is facing this way. This is facing this way. I like that there's like a little bit of a road along the side. What's the UK large flats? Not bad. Again, though, it's a little skinny. Looks a little strange there. Let's see. Ooh, hold on. Now this is not a bad building. Kind of with the parking lot facing. Ooh, actually. All right, this building right here is going to be what we're calling the Greer. Was this a special building by chance? If I click on it, what happens? No, it's just a regular medium density housing building. Okay. This building here is going to be called the Greer. The son of the talented things. I'm so sorry it took me so long to finally place this, but now we have the Greer. It's right here, and it's overlooking the park build that we're going to do later in this episode, but I think that looks nice because it kind of fills in this edge. All right, back to the real current gameplay in this video. So, we've got a hill. It's not terrible, though. So I'd say let's go ahead and connect right up into here. This is an avenue. I think we keep it an avenue. We go ahead and do a 4-lane avenue, grass and trees on both sides, and we're just going to go from here and go straight on through at the 90. Let's bring on the contour lines, even though we are going to be cutting through some slight hills. I like the idea of having this just be a tree-lined road that leads you into the heart of the city. And then we're going to basically replicate what we already have here. So this is grass and tree-lined roads, trying to get better with including that in some of the build. And then I really just want to do the North American medium density row housing all throughout this section. Before we do, though, is this something I just want to place myself, or do we just want to say no zoning on any of these areas? Zone in the middle. For the moment, let's do this. We'll force the zoning into the middle. Now, at least for these blocks, this is going to be easy because what I can do is just take North American and I can go like this and like this. I'll actually try to match it up, I think, to some of the depths we're seeing on the other side. And then as those zone in just like that, we can do the opposite end. We can do most of this one. Let's just do a low density North American building right here. go ahead and remove. Ooh, is that going to delete a bunch of them? Let's just find out. Yep. All right. Is the same going to happen on this side? No. Okay. So it's just on this end. What we'll do is we'll put some trees, or we'll fill this in with something ourselves afterwards. That'll be just fine. Because we have this extra bit of block here, does this get larger? It does. Okay, what if we do this? And for this area right here, at least these 3 blocks, we just add some parking along there. Why not? It does offset the road a little bit, but I think that's going to be okay. And then for this section here, I think we can just do trees or something and leave it alone. Let's also go ahead and build out this park. I had envisioned having a park here just to kind of break up some of this. So let's go ahead and start doing that. I think the first thing we're going to want to do is pathing. It's not perfectly in the center, but it's not terrible. We don't often detail, so I think maybe now's the time. I mean, we could start with a fountain in the middle. If we anarchy to fountain in, technically you would be walking through the fountain, which would not be ideal. What we could also do, though... Ooh, hold on. Beautiful. What other little pieces do we have? We do also have this garden bench, which... Is there a way for me to turn off the colors changing? I don't know if there is. I wish I could do that. What I think we do is this. We grab a straight line, turn off random rotation. We do fence mode. We're going to want to rotate this, I guess, 90 degrees. Turn off any offset. Turn off any spacing variation. Yep, just like that. Let's space them out even more. Enable randomized. No, do not enable randomized. All right, so we've got some benches right there. Great, right in the middle. Do we want benches along these ends? I think we would. We're also going to want some trash cans. For this, I can just place these by hand, I think. I don't need anything fancy. We'll place 2 here. All right, we've got trash cans. We've got fountains. We've got benches. What else do we want to add into here? Do we want to add any of these guys? What's this? A small stage? That could be kind of fun. We could have a small stage maybe facing like right here. You know what? Hold on. Hold on. What if we add in one of these guys? Let's go right here to the middle, right? And curve it down and in just like this. Okay. Now, we've got a helicopter right over top. We can place a stage right here in the middle. And we can use these sports bench seats and do this. Oh my word, we just made like a little stadium. Okay, hold on. It's definitely going to need more trash cans. If we've got a small stage here, you're going to need more trash cans. I don't really mind the trash cans are different color. That doesn't seem to bother me much. Do we want any of these chairs? I think we would. Do y'all get umbrellas? I'd love umbrellas, but I don't want the ones that go right through the middle. That seems strange. We could also place like a little playground. Don't know if we need any of that. All right, let's add in some trees. We'll start with the oaks, mainly because they're the largest. Now, what we got to do next, and I don't know if I can I place a surface on top of a surface? I cannot. We're going to anarchy this in, only because I do not feel like redoing the other surface. This should be able to live right on top of this and be just fine. I am also going to fill in that area with the fountain. Yes. Perfect. All right, so now we've got our little park, which I think is beautiful. We have filled in all of this zoning, which is great. I am wondering if we add in more parking, but for now, let's just keep doing what we're doing here. We're going to fill in this half here, just like so. As it fills in, we'll play a little whack-a-mole and get our other ends complete as well. I would like to see more businesses along this route, and I think we're going to do it by hand. I think it's going to be a little bit more fun. Let's go over here. Let's go to businesses. I want to do kind of a whole host of options here. Do we have any special buildings? Actually, now seeing that, what are our special buildings? Signature buildings. We have a Grand Dynasty Hotel. It's not going to make any sense. We have a cafe. This could be kind of fun. Ooh, especially if I can get this. Don't stick to the road. What if we were to squeeze this in right next to the parking lot? This is a tea salon. That's a little bit interesting. Okay. What other ones do we have? We've got a Riverside Grill, which could be cool. It's a little large, but we're not, I don't know, not pressed about that. This guy here, the steakhouse, this could be great because it's a little corner piece, which is exactly what we want kind of in this area. If we place that there, how does that look? Oh, that looks great. Yes. All right, we're going to have a little steakhouse there. What other options do we have? Some of these are a bit larger. This is the Oasis Kitchen, which I think could be cool in another area. Not here per se. Corner theater. We could do some kind of theater or something maybe over this way. What does that look like there on the corner? Oh, that looks great. Yeah, I like that. All right, so we've got a little theater there. Let's see if there's any other ones that we can kind of sneak in here that makes sense. Most of these are a little strange and wouldn't work here. I will consider doing a gas station somewhere. Maybe there's like a gas station right over here on the corner of Autumn Street and Cedar. Yeah. I like that. All right. We don't have any demand for business. I'm going to do a little bit of low density office. Maybe we'll slap a little office right along here. Let's see. I think we could do an office building here for sure. I'd be very into that. Maybe here we do another little strip of office. Let's try to get the whole thing filled. And then we can come back and edit it if it needs it. And then along here, this is where, even though we don't have any demand at the moment, you know what? Actually, we do have demand. Let's just do residential instead. What if we were to come in here and do a host of northeast medium density, and then right behind it, we'll switch back over to this medium density, call it a day. That's an interesting choice. I kind of like that. Now, in some of these little areas, I do want to make sure we've got tons of foliage coming through. Daisy fields coming together nicely. Oh my gosh, look at all of this parking. I do want to have, I think, another parking lot. Let's go ahead. I don't really mind having another one of these. If it were to fit, that would be unreal. It will remove a few homes. Let's do this. We're going to do it. And I'm going to do a one-way alleyway right behind it. It's going to remove everything that's there. That's okay with me. And because we have this parking lot here, let's go ahead and do a little bit of tree work. Let's grab the... Oh, let's grab this London... What was this? London Plain. We'll do tree work on just the two sides facing the parking garage. And we're going to extend the surface that it has along here. I think I like that a lot more. Going to have to rebuild some of those houses. That's okay. I think this is coming together really nicely. Now, we did build out this one bus line, but that's not enough. We're going to need to think about doing additional busing here soon. I think let's continue to figure out how this area works in connection to Boulder Hill and Willow Terrace. And yes, for those who have asked, we are more than likely going to need to be rebuilding some of this in the future. There's a traffic jam. There's an accident. Oh my. Good luck, guys. All right, let's see. We have this school here, probably, yep, at capacity. So I think what we should consider is changing up some of this as we go. It's only serving Boulder Hill and Willow Terrace. I think we definitely want to do services in Daisy Field, but I think we could consider changing out this school as well. How's this high school going? This high school could also operate in Munster and Daisy Field. We'll see if that works. I think we need a much bigger, better elementary school, and I wonder if that's something we place here for all four of these neighborhoods. Although, let's be real, it's probably not going to be enough. 1,500 kids are already there. Let's see. 400, 100, 500, 800, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,200, can be upgraded with an extension. So here, does it, shut it down. This fits perfectly. This is going right here. Done. And it's going to just go ahead and get an extension. You're going to operate here in Daisy Field. For now, that's the only district you're operating in. That is a good building. Behind it, I do think we take this block and this becomes, again, another parking block. I'd love to find one that it fits. I don't care what the game says. This absolutely fits. Anarchy's off. Bam. Done. We've got parking for the school. Let's go ahead and grab this surface. That did ruin this side, but I think if we do this, we have a little square there. Does that have a little square? It has a tree in it. Ooh, can I just get this tree in the smallest possible form? Turn on anarchy. You know, it's a little bit too big, but we're just gonna run with it. All right, so now all of that. Oh yeah, parking for the school. This is only operating here in Daisy Field. Let's see how quickly this fills up. But it can now support 1,500 students. Technically, this supports the same number of kids. But I think I'd rather just get rid of everything that's here in this section and we build a different type of elementary school here. I think we just need a second school here. What's our land look like here? It is all a hill. But what if down here on Garland Street there was an elementary school? Seems a bit out of place. Seems a bit out of place. Okay, hold on. Let's just back that up. Let's just think about this. I could see us maybe forcing an elementary school in here. Not a huge block, though. We could also get rid of this section of road. Get rid of the homes that are right along here. And right in here, we could maybe sneak in another school. I mean, I didn't really check before just haphazardly deleting things, but we could do the urban school. This holds 1,200. Can be upgraded with an extension wing and a rooftop playground. What if we place this here? This would just operate in Willow Terrace. This will only operate in Boulder Hill. Let's see if that changes things. Let's go ahead and give it the extension wing. I'm not going to give it the playground, but instead, I think we just place some small parks next to it and call it a day. Let's do little sports parks. We could do tennis. We could do a tennis court. We could also do a basketball court or two, which I think that would kind of be fun to have two basketball courts next to each other. And then I think this needs tons of trees. Maybe, though, this could also get a little bit of a pathway. If we were to go from here, straight along the back, then we were to curve and bring this down to here. Slope too steep. There we go. You can go like that. Just like so. I'm not really too worried about the surfaces because this is all going to get trees. Here. Gorgeous. All right. Not filling up quite yet. This is at capacity still, so I think we might end up moving that, but already that's starting to increase some of that height. Maybe we begin to figure out how these guys connect together, and that can inform what we do with Sterling Street Elementary School. I want to rename this Willow Terrace Elementary. We're going to just name it Willow Elementary. And I almost want to place the same version of this. 1,700 kids. Let's just place another one over here in Boulder Hill. I think the perfect place for it will be right over here. I will also say, what is this? It's just a regular building. All right, I think all this is going to go. And let's get rid of this elementary school. Yep, sorry guys. I know. We're getting there. Don't you worry. It's going to all come together here soon enough. Oopsie. All right, let's select the operating district, Boulder Hill. And I actually want to come in here and change this district up a little bit. Beautiful. So Boulder Hill's changed just slightly. I think that works out pretty well, though. All right. I also want to get rid of... Oh, wait. We didn't set this to Boulder Hill. Yeah, we did. All right. It's got 525 students, and you have 527. We are going to give this the extension wing right off the bat. Let's get rid of this parking lot. Let's get rid of this little meandering path. Let's get rid of that. Is that something I zoned or placed? I placed. Okay, so now we're getting, there we go. We're getting a much larger section that we can begin to edit. We're going to send this road straight on out to here at the 90. And eventually, it's somehow going to get itself connected in with this road here. Just like so. Kind of works perfectly. Gives us a little bit of an angle there. This, I think, can come forward for quite a while, giving us the opportunity to have another block here, which I like. Frankly, can just go straight across. And then this could probably just dead end right into it. Even if it's not perfect, the intersection, it'll still work. That's great. This road here already dead ends here. I think we can figure out what to do with that. Do we send this road up and in? No. I don't think we do. But now let's look at the buses, because hold on, we've just opened up an opportunity here. We have this bus here that goes essentially the entire length of the downtown. It goes through Bedford, Horsham Flats, Longview. It stops once here in Willow Terrace. It stops once up here. I think we take this and we have a stop here and here, right? We delete this stop entirely. Then it comes up further. It stops in front of our high school. Comes up further. It stops here. It also stops right here. We are going to anarchy this in because I don't want to lose. Oops, I don't want to lose that building. And now we're close to a subway line, which I think is perfect. Let's go ahead and just grab this guy. Oops. We want this. Grab this guy. We're going to move that stop to here. We're going to move this stop to here. Similarly, we're going to stop right in here. This is great because this really connects this neighborhood directly into the rest of our downtown. Do we keep this one stop? You know what? I almost want to say, well, no, it's really close. But honestly, it's not a problem to leave it. We won't do one on the way back up, but you know what? Let's leave that old stop. I'm fine with that. Let's actually also get rid of this whole section. We're going to leave Hazelwood. I may consider just leaving this to be grass. I'm conflicted. All right, so we have that bus line, which is great. We also have this pink line, which goes up this way. Now that we have made some of these edits, I don't necessarily think we need those two pieces here. We have a stop here, comes over here and stops here, stops here. These stops are a little few and far between and frankly a bit chaotic. I think what I'd rather do, we have a stop there. I think we have a stop here and here, right? Grab this guy. You're going to go to there. You're going to go to here. This stop is going to disappear. We don't need this bus line. Then I think we do another stop around this intersection here, but we stop on both sides. I don't know why we weren't stopping on both sides before. That seems a bit more thought out because then there's a stop over here, relatively large block to walk through, and then there's a stop over here that brings you into some of this business here. Okay, all around that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I do think we need another bus line that goes this direction. What is this? This is this bus that I have, I guess, somehow messed up the connections for because it's doing this weird looping thing. I don't want it to go that way. Why is it going that way? I want you to stay along this avenue. You stop here. You also come over here. You stop here. You come up here. That's great. I do think we need another bus, though, that kind of cuts over and up. And I think the best way that we're going to do that is to also utilize this section. So if it stopped right there, it could then come up this road. Okay. it could share this stop with the... I guess there's 2 lines using that, which is great. Come over here, come up this way, and come through this way. All the way up to here. For now, it'll stop up this way. Okay, this will be the end of this stop. Bam. It'll figure out a little turnaround. It's going to then come down here. I think we're going to have a stop right in the center of Daisy Field. So we'll go here and here, right? Boom, boom, 3 blocks later. You're going to cross right on through here. 1, 2, 3-ish. So we could do a stop maybe here and here. Then you come on through and you connect into this. We need one more stop here on the way back in front of the elementary school. Okay. I think that's great. This is called Munster, which is also a cheese. So I think we do like a cream color. Why not? Although it looks like we have a green, a red, a purple, and a pink. Now we're going to have a stop here. You're going to come out. You're going to share this stop, Birdsong Street. You're going to come up and into Munster. You're going to stop at 141 Daisy Field. Cross right on over and stop at 67 Daisy Field. And then stop at 7 Daisy Field. However you want to loop back around for the moment is fine by me. You'll stop right there. You'll stop right here. Stop over at 22 Mill Street. And you're going to come back around and close out your loop. Now we have a bus stop in every single one of these. And let's just like quickly review here. We have this one transfer station. Cuts over here and goes this direction into Daisy Field. It also has this pink line. Which if I'm looking at this, it's going this way. And that comes all the way over here. And cuts all the way over here into Easton. Right? So we've gone this way and this way. Then we have this green line, which is the Ortega Northfield line, which that cuts all the way up into here, into Northfield. Then we've got this red line, which is the Maple Street line, which cuts all the way down the center corridor of our city. And we also have, what's this one? Ortega Cypress, which cuts in all the way over here to Cypress. This one transfer branches out across this whole city, which is great. All right. We do need to give this line a name. So this bus line 12, view the details. I think we're just going to name this. Let's just name this the Daisy Field line. No, we'll do Daisy Field Doris. That way we know exactly where it ends. And it's also now matching the rest of our naming conventions here. This line here was called Willow Terrace Bedford, but I think it's actually now going to be Bedford to Daisy Field. Oh my gosh. Daisy Field to Bedford. This line, I don't believe changed. It's going Ortega to Easton. But now we've added a little bit more connectivity here into Willow Terrace. You've got multiple bus lines kind of around the outskirts. I don't necessarily think we need one going this way. That seems a little overkill. But now I think what we've got to do is finish out these little sections. What's the direction of the wind? Because in deleting portions of Palmer Springs, I could see Palmer Springs here becoming a bit of an industrial complex. Just a bit. I see that being maybe a little bit valuable. We could also do Cedar Flats. The problem is Cedar Flats is then going to be blowing into essentially a sports complex, whereas if we do it over here, it's going to stay on this side of the highway. The only downside is that Palmer Springs is a little bit hilly. Let's do this. Let's just do it. We're going to send out a road. Bring it straight on out, almost 500 meters. We're going to bring this one out. You know what? I kind of like this hill. So I think this one's going to do this. We're going to curve this kind of along this direction. Send it out a little straight here. And that's kind of where that's going to end. This could connect directly from here into here, which is fine with me. This will get a little roundabout on the corner. I think let's use the contour lines to our advantage here. So we'll send this over to here, but then we're going to do a small little curve just to get us back in line with these contour lines. And then we'll send this up this direction at the 180. Do we send it all the way? And these two roads can connect into one another like so. There can also be, we've got a bus stop here, which I do want to try to avoid if I can. Where's the 90 from here? Bam, we'll do that. Then in here, I kind of want to use some of these one-way alleyways. Kind of fills in that center area. And it gives us clear ins and outs for Palmer Springs. I don't know necessarily if we actually need any more roads. So I think for now, let's leave it like this. And then if we look at our demand, we got a lot of demand for low density residential, a lot of demand for medium density, a lot of demand for high density, no demand for commercial, and tons of demand for industrial. Before we place any of this industrial, let's go ahead and just quickly get a sense of our company wealth. Beverages over the last 6 months, beverages are slowly going down. We'll go down by 1. I think 1 is more than enough. Meals, I'd say even with the dip, it's staying pretty steady over the past 6 months. Food is going down slightly, but not terrible. Convenience is definitely going down. Lodging is all over the place. Recreation's also going down. We can reduce those taxes a little bit. Entertainment's going up. I think it's a $10 million industry. I think we could take entertainment up just a little bit. Furniture, it's a $50 million industry. That's even more than the entertainment. I say for furniture, it's starting to go up, but it's not making drastic changes, so let's leave it alone. Electronics are fine. Vehicles are going down, but not by a ton. Paper is going down pretty substantially, so let's go ahead and just lower their taxes a little bit. Textile, it's gone down, but it does seem to have somewhat leveled out here. We'll leave that be. Plastics has leveled out for sure. Chemicals, slow decline. Absolutely change that up. Petrochemicals, it's hard to see this one. It's going down, but nothing too crazy. And pharmaceuticals, I think we could also consider dropping those taxes. Let's do that real quick for just those few. Now let's go look at the wealth of our industrial. And now we're back to where we were. This will take time to level out. We'll see what happens there. But now with all new taxes, I think we do want to go ahead and place some industrial. As you can see, the demand has dropped slightly. But let's go ahead and do some placing of industrial, something we rarely do. We're going to filter this to only give me level 1 buildings. And then we can also start thinking about the depth. So that's 1, 2, 3. Let's do a lot depth of 6. And let's just see what we've got going on here. We've got this manufacturing building. We have this building. Ooh, hold on. I like that building. That's perfect. Do I want to place them? I actually think I do want to place them with the entrance facing the main road. And the back just kind of being a road you can use to get around the buildings if you need to. This guy, another manufacturing building. I think I'd want to have some like parking built into some of this. So we've got what options? Manufacturing, we have agriculture, industrial storage. Would love an industrial storage building. I don't know if anyone's going to move in there, but we can place it and see what happens. And that actually fills out all in nicely. Okay, so there's a number of buildings there. All around looks pretty good. I don't actually like that building at all. So let's get rid of that. Let's change it for a different building. It's got some smokestacks to it. That's okay. I am going to place some trees throughout here. We'll use anarchy to make this work. And I can tell by our numbers down below, we're having another death wave. Just going to ignore that entirely. Is anybody going to use this? The building is empty and available for rent. We've got company, 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 company. All right, most of these, this one's empty. Oh no, storage is empty. It does have a company. Vegetables, this one's empty. All right, I think all around, for the most part, all of these are being used. We're going to make these exactly the same color. Then I am going to do some small edits here. So let's get rid of this surface. Get rid of this surface. Let's go back over here and just place an entirely new surface underneath all of this. Send it straight on back, straight on over, and fill this whole section. I don't necessarily love the smokestacks, but I think I can get into it. We're gonna just accept that that's what has to happen for this to be industrial. It's just how it works. Now, these are the perfect parking lots for this area because we can place them right inside and they fill up a nice amount of space. Let's scoot this one over so the fence is along the road. I would like to get rid of that tree. Perfect. Then along this way, let's do some smaller industrial buildings. We are doing oil, so we could get away with having that guy there, and then we could use a potentially two-way alleyway or one-way alleyway to come right up in and connect here. Gives you another option to turn around and get out of here. I think behind both of these, let's go ahead and just throw in a ton of trees. Now, I'm enjoying doing it like this. We'll do a straight line tool. We will do fixed length, random rotation. We'll also do a spacing variant of 2, offset variant of 2, turn on anarchy, increase the spacing here. 6 is fine. We do want all kinds of different shapes though. So let's go here. We're just going to do pines and we're going to do apple trees. And we're going to use anarchy to help us out here. But then we can just place pretty quickly kind of like a tree brush there. And maybe we'll do some of these wild bushes. Oh, well, those are just straight up in the road. So maybe not those 3. Okay. That looks pretty decent so far. Now let's check. We had 55,000 people employed. We still have 55. Somehow the unemployment's actually risen, even though we've built more businesses. What's going on here in terms of employees? Everyone's filled out pretty well. 0 open positions. Do we have any industrial special buildings? No, we don't. What do we need? Level 5 industrial manufacturing buildings. We need a ton more. We need 1, 2 more level 5 buildings to get that industrial plant. I mean, let's just do this. Level 5. Place this guy here, whatever that is, industrial manufacturing. And we'll place this guy right next to it. Now we have new signature building, fuel plant. I mean, let's go ahead and place that. What does this do? +2 industrial efficiency citywide, -5% industrial air pollution citywide, and -5% industrial ground pollution citywide. It's not terribly large. It's significant, but not crazy. I almost want to try to figure out if we can fit this over here. If I were to get rid of all these roads and we were to place this just like this, yeah. I also think we can remove some of these other crosswalks. I just don't think we need all of them. And even though, like, I don't really want you crossing this way either. Let's remove all 4 of these crosswalks. I think what I'd rather see is some type of pedestrian pathway that crosses over there. I do want to add maybe 1 more bus stop kind of right here in the center. And this guy can connect right up into that guy too. Perfect. All right, so now I've got a number of bus stops there. I think this is going to need a little bit of detailing for this to work. So if we've got this building here, I think we can pretend that behind it is an old train infrastructure. We grab this one-way train track. We can basically go like this and go whoop right along the back, right? We're going to rotate it though. Better yet, we're going to just change it to this. Yep. And then what we're going to do is do another one right next to it. Connect that up and in. Let's remove the trees that are in the way right here. There are a few that must go. Perfect. And I think we want to actually fill the back of this with forestry surface. I think that's going to look real nice. Hold on. Let's go over here, go to props, go to here, go to forestry, and essentially just fill everything behind this building and everything along this edge with the forestry surface. It's perfect. You can see it right along the highway. Over there on the hill is this old plant. The pollution for this is all going to be going away from the city, which is going to work out great. This can have how many employees? 412. We've got 80 open positions. We've got more than enough well-educated. The highly educated is where we're struggling. Highly educated is where we're struggling, and that is more than the well-educated. So that's universities. That's things like MTU. If I double check here, this is colleges. Specialized education and training equips students with skills needed for various careers. Then universities is the highly educated. In here is where the modern technical university is. It's also where our technical university and our medical universities live. There's also research. I've not placed either of these. +3 graduation chance. +5 indoor recreation. University interest in education. Oh, that's actually great. The radio telescope. And then the Large Hadron Collider. +20% demand for electronics and electronics production efficiency. Interest in universities, more demand for software. All right, I think we really next time need to focus on some of these research buildings because that's going to just change the game. All right, what other decorations could we do over here to kind of make this, I don't know, make this look a little bit cooler? I do want to see if I were just to go like this, right? Put a little road here. Can we place down a few industrial buildings? All right, we're going to do these. We're going to use Anarchy to place these only because of the surface issue. I don't want to deal with the surfaces getting funky. We'll have both of those there together. They're already the same color, which is great. I do think we're going to need to have a bit more tree coverage here for this to work. Now this is not a residential area. Let's remove the sound barrier from this road. And instead, let's put a retaining wall over here. Okay? Retaining wall, retaining wall, retaining wall, retaining wall. All the way through there. Level this out to this point. Oh, you know what? It would help if I would have like done the button correctly. That's my bad. All right. All this same height. Create this retaining wall here. Send this back this way. That's great. You can't even see some of that change. Beautiful. Got the train going along the back. Great. Now, this area here, parking lot, needs to be a custom parking lot. Let's grab the parking roads. We're going to use alleyways. 4-lane angled parking. We got one-way angled parking alley. One-way perpendicular parking alley. Parking road. Perpendicular parking. But that's, I like the one-way idea. I think that's going to work out great because it's also relatively small. All right. I mean, can I just do it this way? Anarchy's off. Can we just go bam? And then bam. Place another one here. And then let's just connect it up with alleyways. If this works, this is going to be fantastic. Okay, struggling with this first one. Let's do it this way. Let's actually remove all of this. And instead, let's kind of define generally where we want the alleyway to be positioned. That, I think, is going to be more helpful. Or we want the parking lot to be positioned. Then we'll do a straight connection here. this section here is our parking lot. I think instead of having that be a curve, let's just make it easy and have that be, let's just have this be straight. It's not going to fill it in as nicely, but it's still going to work. All right, we're using the one-way perpendicular parking alleys. That's interesting. It's kind of treating it like it's upgrading that road. So instead, I want to just scoot it in a little bit more. Yep. And we can just do 2. I think 2's fine. Here, we'll use move it for this section. Grab this guy. Grab this guy. We're just going to scoot them closer here. A little bit too close. Right about there. Get rid of any of these trees in the middle. We don't want trees on our roads. And then we're going to just put all of this to have the same surface. This is already looking... Oh my god, this is looking great. And look, somebody's already coming to park. Yes. Okay. Palmer Springs. You've got 778 jobs. You do have 69 open positions. Nice. And this is all probably coming from here? Yeah. Highly educated is where we're struggling to fill that little extra bit. So these all being level 1 I think is smart. How are we looking in terms of unemployment? 13.7, and we have increased the employed. I think there needs to be a lot more work done here, but for now, I think I'm happy with how far this has gotten. Palmer's looking good. We never actually got to Cedar Flats yet. Let's finish these few very small blocks just so that we can be pretty much done with Daisy Field. Now, they do have a number of unique buildings, but I don't think there's no real parks in this area. So knowing we have this school here, this area here is all really a kind of commercial strip. Let's go ahead and remove the surfaces from here. I don't want any surfaces down here. Any other surfaces that you're hiding? Nothing? Nothing? All right. Then to make this just kind of look a bit more unified, let's do concrete surface 1. Bring it over to here. Bring it back to there. Snap to the 90. Go ahead and just fill all this in with the same concrete surface, which I think looks all right. I don't like that these are both the same building. So what I think we do here is we get rid of this building entirely. And instead, let's just place down a commercial building that is to our liking. There's not going to be anything oil-based. 1, 2, 3, 4 back. And let's actually do a level 5. We want it to be 4 back and 2 wide. That's going to significantly limit what we can do. This is a EU European building. Got some taller buildings there. Don't necessarily like how that's set up. I do like this. What if we don't snap to the road? And instead we focus this so that it's facing the corner. This is like a really, really versatile building. I like that a lot. All right, so now I've got a little collection there. That looks nice. This then kind of functions as like the back alley there, which is great. We're just going to do a line of trees behind it. And by that, I mean we're going to grab our... Where's the apple tree? Do our straight line, have a little offset here and there. So we got a little bit of a commercial strip there. Right in front of this school, we've got all this parking behind it. I wouldn't mind having some kind of playground or some type of small little park. We've got Twin Cities Park, small park, Ring Park, Passage Park, small plaza. None of that's really doing it. Parks and Recreation, small playground. It will fit in this area. There is the Chirplet Park activity playground, which could also fit in here. It would destroy 1 or 2 trees here or there. Dog park. Ooh, you know what? Let's do a dog park right here on the corner. Yeah, little dog park right there on the corner. Northeast townhomes. Right along here. I think they'll look nice. They're going to have these kind of different colors to them, which could look fun right by this school. Then we got these 2 small blocks left. This guy here, I think it just needs to be residential. But what I think I'd like to do is maybe we do a little bit of just placement here. Let's remove all of these parameters. Type in low. And let's go to housing. I wouldn't mind them all being level 5s. Right? So if I come down here, low rent, what's this guy look like? Oh, perfect. Like, actually, arguably exactly what we're looking for. Because we could place 2 of these right next to each other. Take this color scheme and place that right there. That is perfect. Let's place a pathway in and around here. Now, I don't do every block with so much detail, but there are times where it just adds a little bit extra if you detail just 1 or 2 blocks. The rest are all zoned, but if I detail 1 or 2 blocks, then I'm able to make it look like the whole thing has been intentionally designed. Okay, so we got those 2 guys together. I wouldn't mind maybe having slightly larger building here. We are along Holly Street. Imperial Heights Apartments. That honestly would have fit perfectly. Imperial Heights Apartments with parking. What if that's what went in there? You know what? I don't think I've unlocked the Imperial Heights Apartments. Here they are. Low rent housing buildings. I'm not going to worry about that at all. I think we're going to do the sum without parking. Oh, wow. That's cool. Yep, we're leaving that there for sure. You're really unhappy, and I don't want to have to see this symbol all the time. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. It just kind of opens up this block. There are some keys on that wall there. I think this here would need to be business. To keep it easy, let's just go ahead and grab low density commercial mixed house. Let's grab, you know what? Let's grab some mixed housing actually. And let's do the USA Northeast. Is that what this is? USA Northeast. It is. We're going to get a few buildings here, different sizes, which is what is important to me. I don't want them to all look the same. And then we'll just wrap this up with doing this little section here with some regular zoning. Like all of this here could just be row homes. Call it a day. We could place a little path between the 2 here. It's not actually going to connect visually because you've got that block there, but I think we can pretend it's connected. If I do that, does that curve that edge? It does not. All right, then we'll leave that. That's perfect. All right. Those are going to zone in. That's going to finish out Daisy Field. I really like how this is looking. Even though all we did was slap down a little bit of a surface there, I think that looks really nice. I love this greenhouse. You have to stay exactly that. That's perfect. How is our schools doing? Let's do a quick check here. This has 402 people serving Daisy Field. Then this school here, 646. This school here, 645. Okay, the schools are working, which is perfect. We don't actually have any schools here in Munster. We have a high school. They're all using the Boulder Hill High School. And this high school is also doing fine. So for now, education-wise, the new areas we're building, we are able to kind of keep up with their needs. Over here in Palmer, we're doing okay. 803 positions. Still have 77 open. And then how is our overall unemployment? 14.3%. Honestly, it doesn't feel safe going out at night. Oh, you know what? That's what we never did. We never did any services over here. All right, next time, one of the things we have to do next time is work on services here and continue kind of building out some of this area. I think it's slowly coming together. I mean, this is starting to look fantastic. It's just taking a little bit more time, a little bit more attention. I am really happy with our little amphitheater area. I mean, it's never going to be used, but it looks kind of cool. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.